Hello everyone, this is Mr. J and welcome to my channel. This is a short video of the ReSCHAE scale, a self-created score system that I use to grade movies. I hope you enjoy.
Here I'm going to be explaining the ReSCHAE scale, more importantly the rewatch factor. So the ReSCHAE scale is something that I came up with, and it's a way that I use to grade movies both on my movie review podcast, Eye for an Hour with Mr. J, but also here on Mr. J's Big Book of Movies. So everything is done on a 5-point scale, and those points do have a definition. So first of all, for the rewatch factor, a score of 1 point means you have no business watching this movie a second time. For example, this movie. Giving a movie a score of 2 means you'll watch it with someone who's never seen it before, but pretty much you have no interest in watching the movie a second time. Kind of like this movie. A score of 3 points, what that means is that you'll watch it if it came on TV. Now remember, with TV, there's a lot of editing and stuff, so despite all the stuff that is edited out, you'll still enjoy the movie. Kind of like this movie. A score of 4, that pretty much means that this is one of your favorite movies. This is one of your go-to movies. You like it, you love it, and you don't have to worry about things because you love that movie. Kind of like this one. And last but not least, 5. If you give anything a score of 5, I always say this is Academy Award material. This means you love this movie so much, everybody on the planet needs to be aware of this movie. Kind of like this movie right here. The storyline pretty much is the flow of the movie, and we're talking about like the predictability of it. So like a storyline of 1 means I saw this coming 9 weeks ago, and it's kind of like this movie here. If you give storyline a 2, it's kind of weak. It's not the best ever, but you kind of give them a break by not giving them a 1. Kind of like this movie right here. Given a storyline of 3, this is average. This is middle of the road. This is what you want a movie to be. You didn't really take anything from the movie, but it's a movie and it's what it's supposed to be. Kind of like this one right here. With a score of 4 for a storyline, this is like an inch before Academy Award material. You got it, but it's not quite there. Kind of like this one. And giving a score of 5, Academy Award material. This writing is what you want to see in movies. This is who gets the little gold Oscar at. Kind of like that one. Characters and character development. Remember that, character development. So if you have a score of 1, that means you are talking like a robot. There is no character development. Everyone was the same from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie. Kind of like this one. Giving a 2 for characters means that the acting was weak. You got through the movie. You don't want to toss the movie in the trash, but the acting was weak and didn't really help the movie. Kind of like this one. 3, once again, middle of the road. 3 is usually the average, giving something a C. Kind of like this movie. 4, the score of 4 is like, it was right there. It's in my face. I loved it. I love this movie. I love the acting. I love the character development. The twists and everything. You got into it, but it's not quite Academy Award material. Kind of like this movie. And finally, 5. A score of 5 bring out the Oscars. There's nothing that could be said to take the joy away from this, from the acting, from the character development. Kind of like this movie. And if you argue with me, hey, that's on you. But this is my example. The easiest part of it all is probably appearance. And when I say appearance, as I always give the example, mute the movie and how does it look? Giving a 1 means this movie just looks like it was done in someone's basement. Kind of like this one. Now, before I give an example, keep in mind like the black and whites from back in the day that just look like terrible. That's going to get a bad review for appearance. So let's not pick on them too hard. But here's my example for giving a 1 for appearance, because the hair and the characters are like blocks and you could punch them with your fist. They don't flow. So take a look at this one. Giving a 2 for appearance, that means you tried but you missed your mark. It looks cheap, you have a cheap feel for it, and if you put in a little more effort, you could have done something. Kind of like this movie right here. 3 is average. This is what you want your movie to look like. There's nothing to go home about. Be like, oh man, did you see the part where it's all, kind of like this movie. Giving a score of a 4, that means you guys put in the effort. This is great. It looks wonderful. I really don't have any complaints, but it's not quite Academy Award material. Kind of like this movie right here. And last but not least, a 5. Academy Award material. No complaints, no nothing. This is how it is. You love it. You love seeing it. You want to see more of it. Kind of like this movie right here. So that's about it. When you give the appearance, I always say mute the movie. How does it look? Does it look like it's supposed to take place in the 80s, but it's really the 40s? Does it look like these people are supposed to be in high school and they're actually adults? How does it look? The feel, all that counts when you use appearance in the ReSCHAE scale. Those grades you used to get in school, A, B, C, D, and F? This is what you use for enjoyment in the ReSCHAE scale. A 1 equals an F, kind of like this movie. A 2 is a D, kind of like this movie. A 3 is a C, kind of like this movie. A 4 is a B, kind of like this movie. And a 1 is a A. Excuse me. A 5 is an A. I totally messed that up. A 5 is an A, kind of like this movie. So enjoyment is solely what you believe. You know what I'm saying? Did you like this movie? Did you not like this? Did you like this movie or did you not like this movie? There's movies that are out that I hate. There's movies that are out that I love. Enjoyment is solely on you. This is the final installment of our explanation of the ReSCHAE scale. Now, as we always say, the points equal a score and the score equals a grade. Well, what does that mean? What you have to do is you have to add the 5 main categories: the rewatch factor, the storyline, the characters, the appearance, and the enjoyment. Those 5 categories equal a score. But that score equals a grade. Now, the grades are as follows. If a movie, before I say, the lowest the movie could get is 5 points, which is a 1 in all categories. The highest the movie could get is 25 points. A 5 in all categories. So here is the breakdown of the score system. Between 5 and 8 points, that equals an F. Between 9 and 12 points, that equals a D. Between 13 and 16 points, that equals a C. Between 17 and 20 points, that equals a B. And 21 to 25 points equals an A. So now that you got the skinny on the 5 categories, how to add them up, give them a score, and get the grade, feel free to use the ReSCHAE scale on your own. And hey, add some comments to see what you think about the movies I review or movies you'd like to see me do or review on your own.